Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back. We've got another workout for you, and today was lower body, so that means squats as well as deadlifts. I got to the gym and didn't do any cardio warm-up again, just went right to the weight room and started warming up on the squat. A few things to note and to talk about in terms of the squat experience. First of all, there are bands that are connected from the front part of the rack to the back part on both sides. You probably can't see them right now. My towel is draped over it. But basically, these are there just in case you have to bail on a rep, or if you fail a rep, or if the bar slips off for any reason at all. And it's nice because it's the better way and it's the safer way rather than using metal pins. More frequently, you'll see at gyms the regular squat racks with the metal pins that you can set at different heights, and they do the same thing. They're there to catch the bar so the bar doesn't fall all the way to the floor. However, with using metal bars, and especially with any significant amount of weight, if that drops onto metal pins, it damages the pins, even if they're tested and graded to be able to handle a lot of weight. But also it damages the bars. It's not good for equipment, and it's a cheap way to go about it. So I understand it's mass produced and it comes as part of the set, but when you see these that are made of fabric and are very strong, they are much safer and much more effective. So if I did have to bail on a 1 rep max, or really any reps for that matter, if something goes wrong and I have to just get out of the rep, I can just let that bar drop and it'll be caught by the bands. So I really appreciate that. I don't know if I've ever really lifted at a facility that had those, so I was really happy about that. Another thing you've probably already noticed is the flooring. So I have been accustomed to squatting on a wooden platform for quite a while now. Of course, I have squatted in other places, in other gyms and other facilities where it would just be the flooring itself, whatever the gym had, or others as well. But this one, it's a nice, firm, flat mat, and it works. It certainly works. I really don't have any complaints about it. It's just different, and I felt that through the shoes and as I was squatting. Of course, all these sets and reps are just fine, but it is something that I noticed, and it's something that I felt. So getting into warm-up sets, really it was just a set of 10 with 135, set of 8 with 185, a set of 6 with 225, and here is the 10x3 with 265 pounds. 90 seconds of rest in between sets, and like I said, these are all just fine, but I did have to quickly acclimate myself to squatting utilizing this particular setup, and it was absolutely okay. One other thing that I did notice was how old the squat rack was, and the reason why I say that is because how you set the adjustments. So it was a little bit high for me when I got there, so I had to lower it down a little bit, and it had literally just a tiny little metal pin to lock it in place, and it was absolutely fine. I just thought it was kind of funny just because I don't ever see that anymore. It's a very older style, and it still works just fine, so no problems. It just made me kind of remember old equipment that I haven't seen in a long time, in years. But yeah, that's pretty much it for squats. Good day. I'm happy with the depth. I didn't go crazy with pauses. I just wanted to make sure I got to the bottom, held it for a bit. So a good solid stoppage for sure, and for some reps, you'll see a nice good rest pause. But honestly, I was just trying to get through all the volume and just get it done. At the end of the day, I just wanted to get it done, and I did just that. It was comfortable, it felt nice, and I'm using metal plates. I'm using actual metal plates, which is different. Of course, weight is weight. Whether you're using bumper plates, Olympic plates, metal plates, it's all weight at the end of the day. But I'll be honest, there is something about using metal plates, and I like it, of course. It reminds me of when I first started lifting decades ago. My first experience with lifting, that's all we had. And just kind of going back to it just brought back some nostalgia, if you will. But yeah, that's basically it for squats. I did get to an accessory, and only one. I kind of wish I had done 2, but I did do a lying hamstring curl, which I was really happy to see. I haven't done a lying hamstring curl probably since 2018, maybe even 2017, but one of those years. And it's a great machine. I'm not, of course, the biggest proponent of machines, but they do have their place. And I particularly like doing leg curls in that manner. I don't like the seated leg curl. The standing leg curl is fine, but I really prefer the lying hamstring curl. And it just felt nice to do. It reminded me how good it actually is. So with that one, I did a set of 8 with 50 pounds, bumped it up to 80 pounds for 8. And I thought that might be my working weight, but then I went to 100 for the 3x8. So working sets across with 100 pounds, 3 sets of 8. And believe me, that felt really good. My hamstrings were well worked at that point. So it was nice to kind of get back to it. It had been a long time, and it just felt good to work the posterior chain in that manner. I usually go for other options, but I just figured, hey, it's been too long since I've done a lying leg curl, so let's do it. And honestly, I wish I did do a front squat or something else for quads. But then again, I did want to make sure I could walk to the grocery store to make tacos tonight. So I gave myself an out and decided not to do a 4th exercise or a 2nd accessory. Now, here we go. We are getting into deadlifts. There is probably no other feeling than just being able to lift for deadlift and be able to just, feel liberated. And what I mean by that is there are multiple stations for deadlifts. In fact, they have an entire area just for deadlifting. I, of course, have been accustomed to lifting on a wooden platform. This is pretty much just from the floor. It is a platform. So it is a platform. If you look down at the bottom, you'll see the wood, but you'll see it's all covered on top. So it's not the weights going down onto the wood or anything like that, but it is a bit of a different setup, and I like it just because I'm using metal plates. Again, they allow metal plates for the deadlifting area. I'd have to go to the Olympic platforms if I wanted to use the bumper plates, but I'm using metal plates, and it just felt good. It really did. So for warm-ups, did the usual set of 5 with 225, set of 4 with 275, triple with 315. Now this is something that I did differently. Last time I went from 315 to 370, and while all sets were just fine, I did feel the jump into the first working set. So this time I thought, let's just ease into it a little bit, and I added a double with 355, and here is the 10x3 with 370 pounds. 90 seconds of rest in between sets, and it was a good deadlift day. It really was, and I'm happy about not only the form, but also not necessarily bar speed, but more or less just overall execution. I wasn't going for speed reps at all. It was, again, pretty much just get it done, get through the volume. That's already enough of a focus point, so I didn't want to think about really anything else other than just make sure technique is there and that I stay on pace, that I stay on top of rest time. So that's pretty much it. And that more or less is the workout. Again, I've really kind of thought about doing a front squat or just another accessory for quads since I had done lying leg curl for the hamstrings. And the gym was closing in about a half hour at that point, and I again really wanted to make sure that I had enough conviction to go to the grocery store so I could get some stuff. And so I managed to do all of that. And that's really it. Now, I do want to give a couple quick shout-outs. One to the same woman who was there yesterday doing Olympic lifts. She was there again today doing some really good stuff. I have a feeling and a sneaking suspicion that she is prepping for something. Just the way that she's training makes me believe that she's getting ready for some sort of competition, maybe just an event or something. It seems a little bit more than just a regular workout schedule. It looks like it's very much purposeful for some sort of competition or something. And she was doing really good stuff today too. And there was another woman working out who legitimately looks like a power lifter. Big, strong lower body especially, and also doing great exercises. Really, really impressive. The fact that we have serious lifters here, and that's very refreshing. All right, y'all. Thank you, and adopt, don't chop.